Well, I definitely got a lot of books today. Well, it's more like it's been a few days. I did not get all these at one time, but let's do a little haul. So, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gina, and for today, I'm going to do a haul of not books that I bought, but books that I checked out from a library, or a couple libraries rather. So sometimes I really don't want to spend money or it's just not in the budget to spend money, and the best way to save money but still get to check out books and read books that you don't own yet is to go to the library. It's pretty simple, so I highly recommend doing that. I think I have about 15 or so books. Some of these I'm not quite sure what they're about. There's actually a couple that I've already started, one that I finished. But so the first one that I already finished reading, it was a really quick book. It was like 200 pages. It's called Diary of a Void by Emi Yagi. It's a Japanese literature book. I do not recommend. This was a really good book, but I don't recommend it for everyone. It's not one of those books where I'm like, oh, you like fantasy, read this, or you like romance, read this. It's a very odd book. It's about a woman who has like a job. She's worked the corporate job, and she's the only one in her section that's like a woman, and they kind of make her do womanly tasks, or what they deem as like woman tasks. So like cleaning up behind everyone after like a work meeting or things like that. And one day she decides to just say, hey, I'm pregnant, I can't do this, and we'll see how it goes from there. And basically you just follow along her like diary journal entries of her saying how she's pregnant. She's not married or anything like that, so it's kind of like you see this perspective of what a woman can go through if she's pregnant. It's a weird concept, and you want to find out how far she can really take it, her lie, should I say. And yeah, it's an interesting book. So like I said, I don't recommend it for everyone. I don't think it's something that would be popular in the US, but it's an interesting read. So if you're just like somewhat interested in a weird concept book, then I do recommend you checking it out. Otherwise, don't. But it was interesting. I liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So that's just kind of like how I feel about it. Anyways, in the background, my grandfather's clock is going off, so if you can hear that, then sorry. Anyways, the other book that I actually started the other night is Welcome to the Hyundong Dong. I can't pronounce it correctly enough for it to be natural, but Welcome to the Hyundong Bookshop. It's a Korean book, South Korean if you want to be like more specific. And so far, it's not what I expected it to be. So I thought it would be more like what you're looking for is in the library, where you go to the library and you find like surprising things that help you get through moments in your life. But in this, I guess it's somewhat similar. You go into this bookshop and you feel like this comfort, but it's not exactly what I thought. So you go into this bookshop that's owned by Youngju, and she was originally like, she burnt out from her previous job. Like, she got divorced and everything like that, so she opens this bookshop kind of for her. But people go, you kind of get to see what it's like to build up a solid independent bookstore. And It's very intriguing. Um, Let me read a part of it. It's a heartwarming story about finding acceptance in your life and the healing power of books. It's a gentle reminder that it's never too late to scrap the plot and start again. So that's what this book is about. So far, I do recommend it. It's a little slower pace than I thought it would be, but it's interesting. We'll see if I still think it's interesting when I finish it. Right now, it's like 3.75 to 4 stars, but we shall see. We shall see. Okay, on to the books that I have not started yet or finished. So I have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I think you follow 3 different characters in different time periods, and they're not all in like the same country or anything like that, but you kind of get to see intermingling of different perspectives on like different stories. It's a story about hunger, a story about love, story about rage. It's basically a story about life, how it ends, and then how it starts. I'm really curious of what it's more about and how the 3 characters are all connected. But we'll see. On the back it says 3 young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high and one grows deep and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. So we shall see. It's a pretty thick book. I think it's not 600 pages, but it's 535 or so pages, I think. And yeah, I'm really interested in reading it. I know it came out not that long ago, so I'm really lucky I got my hands on it. Therefore, I gotta read it pretty quickly, because usually new books, like you can't like hold on to them for as long as some of the older books, because there's like a line of people wanting to read it, so typically you can't hold on to it for as long. So this will be my next read after I finish this one, or I might just start it today. We shall see. We shall see. The next one I got is by Grady Hendrix. It's Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I've actually been looking for this in the library for since summer started. Well, summer just started. Since like spring, summer, because I didn't want to buy it, but I wanted to read it. So I finally got my hands on it. I think it's a thriller horror. He tends to write thriller horrors. I'm currently reading one of his other books, The Final Girl Support Group, I think it's called. That one's actually pretty good, and that one I do own, but I wanted to read this one. This was actually the first one I wanted to read written by him, but I'm reading the other one instead. But I finally got my hands on this copy, so I'm going to read this soon as well. Another horror one I got is Out There Screaming. It's edited by Jordan Peele, and it's an anthology of horror short stories, and they're all by Black authors, so I thought that was like a really cool concept. There's a couple of like really big named ones like N.K. Jemisin, Rebecca Warnhorse, Tochi Onibuchi. Like, it's a variety in here, so I'm like really intrigued on how it's gonna go. I've honestly just recently gotten into the horror genre, so I've been wanting to read more, and I think an anthology is a great way to get into it, in my opinion. So that's why I'm like gonna check this out for sure. And I'm surprised because I actually wasn't looking for this in the library. I just happened to find it on the shelf. I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to read that, so I got it. We'll see if I get to it. I'm hoping I get to it. That's the only thing about reading so many, like checking out so many library books at one time. You might not be able to get to all of them. So that's sad, but I didn't pay for it, so I can't be too mad. And I can always go back to the library and check it out. Anyways, so the next one is a Kennedy Ryan book. It's called Real. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really read romance. Not in like novel format. I do read it in manga, but I don't typically go to it in novels. But I want to branch out. Like I said, I just got into horror. I want to see if I can get into more romance as well. This has a lot of substance to it. Like it's more than just a love story. We're following an actress, I believe. She was an understudy, but then she gets put into the spotlight, and then she gets to, like, there's this famous film director who sees her, and then her life is changing because now she's not just like backstage as an understudy, she's like thrown into the spotlight, and you kind of get to follow along with that and see how that goes. And of course there's like, now there's a love interest as well, and you see, I guess you'll get to see how that changes and if it works out for her. I'm assuming because it's romance that it does work out for her, but I'm not sure how it will affect everything else in her life, so I am intrigued on how this is going to go. And for a romance book, it's pretty thick, in my opinion. It's like 460 pages or so, and yeah, I'm really intrigued. I wanted to read one of Kennedy Ryan's like newer books that came out, like some of her new series, because this came out, first trade paperback came out last year, but print on demand edition came out in 2021. So it's not particularly a new book, but it's not an old book either. But there's like a super popular series going on right now that she's written, and I wanted to get my hands on that, but the library I went to did not have it. And that's okay, because this is probably more up my alley. I think it's a great entrance into romance, I hope. And it's also following a Black author, so it is a Black author that's following a Black main character, female lead, so I am really excited to get into that as well. And then I got The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. I think the one I really wanted to read is The House in the Cerulean Sea, but I found this instead, and I'm like, okay, this is newer, I want to check it out. Just because I don't even think I know what it's about, and I think I'm just not gonna look into it. I'm just gonna go into it blind. I've actually never done that before, so I'm curious on how that works when you go into a book blind, but the title alone seems pretty good, so I'm going to look into that. Another book that I checked out, like I said, I checked out a good bit. It's by T. Kingfisher. It's called Sword Heart. And she writes fantasy horror and occasional oddities. I think this is a fantasy romance. Yeah, this is a fantasy romance. So this is once again me getting into romance, but because there's more fantasy elements than in the Kennedy Ryan book, I figured this would be a pretty good one for me to read as well. It's pretty new, I want to say. Like it just came out maybe a month or so ago. Nope, it came out in 2018. No, yes. This edition came out in 2025, but it's becoming popular this year, so I'm looking forward to reading this. So on the back it says, Sarkis knew that the kiss was a mistake the moment he did it. He kept doing it anyway, at first because stopping a kiss so quickly offended his sense of craftsmanship, and then because it felt too good to stop. It's a fantasy romance between a widowed housekeeper and her unlikely sworn protector. I think he's like part of an ancient sword or something, hence sword heart. I'm assuming this is the idea of what the sword would look like. So I'm intrigued. I'm like, okay, interesting concept. So I picked it up. I'm like, why not? I feel like it would be a quick read. I know it in itself is not like it's a thick book. It's like 400 something pages, but it feels like it would be a quick read. So I picked that up. The next book I got is Blood of the Old Kings by Sung Il Kim, and the cover looks so cool. I saw it months ago in Barnes & Noble, but at the time I did not buy it. I didn't want to spend like $28 on a book at the time. But I picked it up because I saw it in the library, and I'm like, okay. The only thing is that it follows like 4 different characters, like 4 different POVs, and I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm hesitant to actually pick this up and start reading it, but I think I'm going to give it a shot. Like, I just have to put my mind at ease knowing that there's 4 main characters essentially. I've read books that had several main characters before. It's just been a while, and I haven't read it in like a fantasy setting. I've read them in historical fiction. So I think it'll be interesting. Of course, I just pulled a book that has 3 main characters. So I don't know why this is like bothering me that there's like 4 main characters. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but it bothered me when I discovered that, but clearly I checked it out anyways. It's like 300 something pages, so it should be pretty quick to read. It's an empire run on necromancy. Yes. Like that alone, I'm like, okay, I must check it out. I love a good necromancer, so necromancy is like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. Dead sorcerers are the lifeblood, and you step into a world of necromancy, murder, and twisted magic, a world in need of a hero. So I'm wondering if all of the main characters will become heroes, or if it's just going to be one that makes it to the top. So like I said, it's interesting. I'm hesitant for some reason that it has so many main characters, but I'm gonna get to it anyways. And then I checked out, I'm just gonna like hide a little bit of the cover, but it's called Paradise Logic by Sophie Kemp. It's about like a female main character is going to become the ultimate girlfriend of all time. So she's going through different times in history just to become the ultimate girlfriend. It's a wild concept, and I'm like, okay, I read weird books. I must read it, clearly. And it's pretty short compared to all these fantasy books that I've been picking up. So I like gotta go for it. And like I said, the main character, like, I guess this is an example of what she's gonna look like. So I'm intrigued. It's a hilarious, surreal, and devastating journey into the mind of Realty Khan, a young woman on a quest to be the greatest girlfriend of all time. I'll let y'all know how this goes. It's odd for sure, but it may be like a 5-star for all I know. That's why I picked it up. I'm like, you just never know. But we shall see. Don't worry, I only have like 5 more books in here. Just 5 more, just a little bit. Okay, another one that I picked up is The Restaurant of Lost Recipes by Hisashi Kashiwai, and it's a Japanese novel. I think it's like you go to a restaurant, like there's different characters that go to a restaurant, and they each have a different story related to the food, or not necessarily related to the food, but like the food has like some type of moment for them. We all hold lost recipes in our hearts. A very special restaurant in Kyoto helps find them. Yeah, so the food helps rekindle like forgotten memories and things like that. So it is all related to food. I think it's going to be similar to what you're looking for is in the library, except it's dealing with food instead. Like this is a quick read. It's like 200 pages, but compared like in height of a typical hardcover, like it's pretty short. So I'm gonna check it out. Hopefully it's good. I'm really hoping it's good. I'm a little hesitant. It's been a while since I read like a something like this. But I've been getting into Japanese literature again, so we shall see. Okay, another book, A Woman of Pleasure by Kyoko Murata. I think the main character works in a brothel. Like this is set back in 1903. It's based on real life events. So in the Meiji era Japan. So yeah, it's showing like the brutal lifestyle of women in like the red light district, the bond they share, the survival skills they pass down, the power of owning one's language. So I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna be able to get to it, but I want to. It seems good, and for it to be based on real events, I think that's something that got me when I saw it in the library. So I think I also saw this in Barnes and Noble one day, and I was like, I don't want to buy it. I just didn't want to buy it right then, but it was in the library, so I decided to check it out instead. Another book that I got is Water Moon by Samantha Sato Yambao. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, the author's name. I think she's from the Philippines. This is a popular book. I think it came out this year as well. I'm not quite sure what it's about, to be honest, but let's see. A woman inherits a pawn shop where you can sell your regrets and then embarks on a magical journey wherein a charming young physicist wanders into the shop in this dreamlike and enchanting fantasy novel. I think it's going to be cute, honestly. That's what I think. It's going to be really cute. It's not super long. I think it's 300 or so pages, maybe 350. But I'm intrigued. I want to get into it. My cousin recommended this as well, so hopefully, like I have faith in her recommendations. When she does recommend something for me, we typically don't read the same genres, but when we do read something like that similar, we both tend to really like it. So we're gonna check that out. And for the two things that I know I'm going to read in July when that starts is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi and When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. So Before the Coffee Gets Cold, it's another Japanese book. It's about, I think people go to this coffee shop and they of course get coffee, and you kind of, it's like, what if you get the chance to travel back in time? What would you do? Who would you see? Where would you go? And that's the premise of this book. So I think it's also following different characters, but it's not like a going back and forth like some of the other books where you have multiple POVs. This one's like you follow one story, it ends, follow another story, it ends. It's just in the same setting with like a few of the same characters that probably work in the coffee shop. So I think this will be similar to what you're looking for is in the library. So I want to read it. I know it's got really popular recently, even though it's not like super new. I think it came out in 2020 or so. But in the US, I should specify. And I don't know, like it's short. It's short. So I'm definitely gonna get my hands on this and read it. If it's really good, I probably will end up buying it. But we shall see. The last book, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Look how beautiful that is. So I've actually started the audiobook for this and in a separate app that was connected to like my library, and it randomly closed on me and it did not save where I was. I was really upset. But I'm going to pick up the book instead, like the physical book, and read it. I think we're following an assassin. It's a fantasy romance, supposedly fast-paced. There's mysterious creatures, unique magic system. I love that blazes through the ages, of course. Yes, we're following an assassin. Her name is Wave, and her job is to complete orders, never get caught like an assassin. A rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, hearts break, and she finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful fae who turn her into a political statement. So I'm intrigued how this is going to turn out. And this is long. Also 550 pages or so, I think. Something around that. There's a glossary in here. There's pronunciations in here. There's a beautiful map in here. So I'm really intrigued, and I'm so excited I finally found it in the library and I got my hands on it. I forgot to look for it in the bookstore recently, mainly because I didn't want to spend more than a certain amount, and I knew this would be more than that. So the library it is. So I'm really excited I finally got my hands on it, and I'm going to read this in July. So these two things I'm definitely going to read in July. Everything else is kind of like up in the air if I'm able to get to it. But with my current speed of reading like 1 to 2 books a week, depending on how long they are and how fast-paced they are, I should be able to get through a good chunk of them. Some of them, like the library, is like really local to me, so I could turn them in and then check it back out. But we shall see how that goes. So let's see how many books that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I was guessing when I said it's about 15 books. So it is 15 books. I already read one of them. Like I said, I'm in the middle of another one. So I'm getting through them. I just have to actually sit down and read. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, even if that's all you want to do. So that's it for my library haul. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if any of the books that I mentioned sound really interesting to you, or if you even read them, let me know. So until next time, I hope to see you soon. Bye.